Welcome to Slay Edge Media, and this right here is a new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited. Now let's get a closer look. First off, I gotta say that the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon is a stunning vehicle. Whether you're on road, just gonna be getting groceries like the typical person, or you're gonna be going off-road and doing some real off-road stuff, the Jeep Wrangler is not to be underestimated. Now, a couple of key features of the Rubicon: they like to paint the tow hooks red, as well as a couple of different red accessories throughout the entire vehicle. Now, forget a little bit of surface dirt, but this is a Jeep. Come on, they should come painted in dirt color, right? You see red right there, Rubicon, red in the Jeep. Now let's look at a couple other spots. There's red all through the front of the interior of the vehicle, red on the floor, red in the stitching, red here for your locker, as well as if you got manual, like this one, red here. That's for reverse, in case you're confused. As well as red stitching throughout the whole interior of the vehicle. And when I said tow hooks, I meant the one in the back as well, not just those in the front. Just so we're clear, this is not a stock Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I just want to let that be known. This is just one of the top ways you can deck it out. And here's an example. For example, this one comes with 37s. So that's 37 by 12.5 R17, 17-inch rim. And these ones are special because these are off-brand black Rhino rims. Like I said, hard alloys. So for people who are doing a lot of off-roading and stuff like that, these are some heavy-duty, strong rims. Perfect for putting some aftermarket tires on. This one also comes with a step on the side to make it easier to get inside there when you're going to have your vehicle lifted, which is something that people underestimate when they get their vehicle lifted in, especially if you're short. It also comes with this extra big Smitty built, I don't know what you want to call it, tire holder, tire mount. Basically, it's an aftermarket heavy-duty version of what comes stock on the vehicle. So you can see when you put 37s on here, it's gonna fit the back a little bit different than the stock tire would. This one comes mounted with some heavy duty Fox suspension. Now if you just look at them, they're just some big ass suspension shocks. I don't see no secondary reservoir anywhere. It's got the same thing on the front, but here's a special thing. There's two additional ones for extra off-road support handling. So that's going to give you nice and controlled feeling when you're going over those crazy uneven surfaces. All right, now this is one of my favorite features of the Jeep Wrangler. Not just being able to pop the hood without going inside. It's the overall modularity of the vehicle. You can take the doors off, you can take the roof off, you can take everything off this vehicle without having to go to some special customization shop. Factory, you can get into your safari mode right off the shop, right off the factory floor. Now, if you look inside here, it's got a 3.6 liter V6 engine. It doesn't have the most crazy power, this vehicle, but the gearing is set up to be able to, so you can go off-roading, so you can be able to climb. So that's what the power's for. It's not for going fast. It's just so you can have enough power to put it into proper gearing through these big old tires so you can climb over and drive off-road and stuff like that. It's meant for you to excel at slow speed, not high speed. That's why the diesel option is so good. All right, now it's time to come inside and look at the interior of the Jeep Wrangler. Now, if you look at the door, first off, like I said, these doors can come off. All you gotta do is disconnect this right here, and they slide right off, and you just, I guess, storm in your garage or something. But you got door locks, window adjustment, and then door opening with a little storage catch right here, Jeep style with the netting. So don't put anything crazy that can fall through there. And you come to the front, everything else looks pretty standard on the drivers. Nothing too outlandish as far as functionality. Everything else is pretty typical in here. All right, two regular analog gauges on the side, and then a little screen right here. Very simplistic design screen right here. Radio, media, climate, everything's, reasonable responsiveness. Normal climate control features right here. But here's where it shines down here, this little stuff down here. So first off, when you pop this up, different charging points, auxiliary cord, the window rollers are right here. So instead of rolling them up and down like on the door, they're here. You got your locker right here, which is cool. Stands out in nice red, so you can do front and rear only, and self-explanatory. Off-road and sway bar plus, so that's additional stability right there. And then here's one of the most traditional Jeep things. Change 4 low, neutral 4 high, and 2 high. I wish every vehicle came with an adjustable drivetrain. Now this one is a stick shift version, a 6-speed manual transmission. If you don't know how to drive manual, make sure before you start it, you gotta put your foot on the clutch, okay? Foot on the clutch and the brake, then you push the start button, and you have to push and hold it until it goes. If you let go, it's not gonna start over. You can't just tap it, you have to push and hold it till it cranks up all the way. Couple of little garage door features right here. Now here's the cool stuff right here. When you wanna pop this hood right here, all you gotta do is unlatch these. Pop, pop, turn, 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 turn. Okay, there's like 10 turns you gotta do. But once you get it done, just pop them off, and this thing comes off so easy, it's ridiculous. Now you may be wondering, if the doors come off, how do you hear the music? That's what these are for. You got the speakers right here above your head, so you're not gonna be able to miss a tune. Like while you're all off-road, take your doors off, take the roof off. Normally the music comes from the doors and tweeters and all that extra stuff, but they're up here close by your head. And notice they're on the bottom, not top. So if you ride with the top off with the rain, you don't gotta worry about this getting wet. You know, this is an off-road vehicle. It's meant for driving through the bush and the mud and the rain and water and all the other little good stuff. The back doesn't have much climate control features, but there is a full plug back here, and you got window rollers here in the middle. So you roll your windows here, all right? All right, now this thing is so high up, you gotta make sure you hit that step, and then you gotta literally climb in this thing. You can't just hop in it like the regular Jeep Wrangler I've been in plenty of other times. You know, I like to rent these vehicles off of Turo. They make great vehicles for doing a road trip somewhere like Grand Canyon. Actually, speaking of road trips, I'm about to be doing a road trip video in one of these, in a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited, just like this one, except it's not gonna have the huge lift or nothing. But I'm gonna be doing a road trip video on it, going to Grand Canyon. So if you wanna see what it's like having this vehicle for more than 72 hours, I suggest you check that video. It's gonna be coming out soon, look out for it. But I digress. When I hop in the back seat, I got plenty of space back here. I don't feel crammed or anything. There is a little bitty headrest right here. There we go. Maybe little munchkin can sit there, and you know, they got a little bit of head support. That's nice for them. Look at that. Jeep thinking about everybody. Another thing I like about this car is, you see this right here? This almost acts like a roll cage. So it's like it's got a roll cage built into it. So, you know, that's one of the things you got to worry about when you take a Jeep off-roading. You got to worry about rolling over, because it's not rare for people. You're so badass when you're driving, you know, and all of a sudden, whoop, upside down. Man, imagine falling upside down in a vehicle without the roll bar, without the roll cage, without this. Imagine that. That's why it has to come with that, because Jeep knows that people are going to be taking this vehicle off-road. So what other way to get you to buy it than install a roll cage already in it, right? But as far as comfort, you know, these are standard seats, you know, standard cloth seats. There's no leather in here. There's no suede, none of that stuff. I don't even think there's even leather, maybe like on the armrest or maybe a little bit on the steering wheel, but other than that, no leather. This is a completely modular, rugged vehicle meant for getting it done and having fun out there in the woods, right? I'm gonna pop this open real quick so you can show you something. I saw something on here and I thought that was cool. So if you're a Jeep owner, you know, it shows like the little dimensions right here. So there's your wheelbase, overall length, you know, for the 2-door one, the 4-door one. It shows water fording, how high up it can stand with water going up in there. I thought that was cool, you know. And built in Toledo, Ohio since 1941. That's cool. So it's time to take this vehicle for a drive. I've already driven it over here, so I got to knock my stick shift rust off already. But I'm gonna drive it around a little bit and just talk about what it's like being in the vehicle. Foot on the clutch and foot on the brake, seatbelt on, mirrors good to go. Always have a checklist when you're getting in a new vehicle you're not used to. Take the e-brake off all the way over into first. One thing I don't like too much about the Jeep Wrangler manual, I don't like the way that the clutch doesn't catch all the way to the end. So when you're using the clutch, there's so much dead space. The clutch is different on different cars, but for the Jeep, you could call this like a soft clutch, but it catches all the way at the top of the pedal. There's all this dead real estate that you don't use for the pedal. All right, now we're hitting the road and you can hear the engine a little bit, right? All right, something to keep in mind when driving this kind of vehicle, they're geared a certain way, you know, so it's geared for, like I said, go over this big hill. Can we go over this big rock and up this big hill? That's what it's more for. Now, after driving this manual, I can see why I switched back to automatic. But I mean, some people prefer manual dead set over an automatic anytime. And I've driven manual and automatic Wrangler. And what I can say, between the 2-door, the 4-door, and the Jeep Gladiator, which is basically a big Wrangler, when you're driving at a high speed, the 2-door one, man, it's like almost like your stability, it goes down a little bit as far as your straight line stability. It feels like it's compromised because of the length of the chassis, you know, and then the stability at high speeds gets a little bit better for the 4-door one. But what my favorite for stability is the Gladiator. Gladiator, hands down, is gonna be my favorite for stability. And I'm trying to go fast in this, but there's literally no fast in this. There's no fast in the Jeep, in this Jeep Wrangler. Not with the big lift and the manual transmission. I noticed the automatic seems like it shifts a little bit better and drives a little bit better, because I think it's an 8-speed. Automatic versus manual, I feel like the automatic just drives a little bit better. You got more potential with the vehicle, opposed to the manual. You're kind of stuck in this paradigm of 5 gears. Not even 5, you're stuck in paradigm of 6 gears actually. But there's nothing horribly wrong with that. Like I said, it's more meant for if you're off-roader. Shifting manually through 6 gears is much better than shifting manually through 8. You know, let's just say that. Keep that in mind. But driving with this vehicle, you can definitely feel the size. It's definitely no mistaking, because I'm up high. But in no way, shape, or form is this going to be one of those vehicles. Don't get this vehicle thinking you're going to be blowing doors off somebody, you know, during a race or something. Get this for what it's for. You know, it's for the off-road gang. You know what I mean? One thing I don't like is first gear ends so quickly, and with it being manual, it's like you have to shift right away. I mean, damn near, you're going to have to shift like as soon as you shift into first. You go a little bit and you're gonna have to shift. I mean, that's what first gear is for. It's just to get you going. But it just, when you're in manual compared to automatic, it's like just that inconvenience of like, man, I got to shift already? Jeez. But one thing I don't like about the lifted Wranglers, you know, and just Wranglers altogether is their lack of directional stability. You know, they're kind of all over the place. So they're definitely meant for like slower speeds. So when you try going fast, they like, the steering wheel is like, woo, it's like going left and right, because it's the big old tires, and it being up off the ground like this, you know, it just makes it so you kind of have to. That's why I really like the Gladiator, because the Gladiator just offers so much more stability that I feel like you don't get in the Wrangler, whether it be 2-door or 4-door. Some people still prefer it, but if I was gonna get one, I'd either have to get a 2-door because it's compactness, or if I'm gonna get 4-door, just give me a Gladiator. I don't want to mess around with a Wrangler. Why would you get a Wrangler when you can get a Gladiator, you know? If you're gonna play Jeep, just play Jeep in the big one. Either go big or go home. It's like either go big or go home, or go small and nimble, so you can get all up into little tight spaces and the nooks and crannies and everything like that. Tight spaces, cracks, all that good stuff. That's what you want. All right, this has been Slay Edge Media, and you just saw the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited full review, drive, in and out, but this one's optioned at a high level. So this right here is optioned in the way that you could have it. So if you're in the market for a Jeep, come on down to Lappin Motor Company. You see they got plenty of other different vehicles. You see there's a whole bunch of different Camaros, Mustang. We just did a video of the ZL1. They got Charger Hellcats. They got GTRs, everything. RSQA, we did a video of that one. G-Wagon, we did that one. There's so many different vehicles and so much more inside. And if you stayed this long, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. And remember, don't forget to check out the other content. So many other cars. And also make sure you leave a little comment down below. Peace.